It's working. It seems. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, yes, sure.
Perfect. Okay. So I will put.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for. Hey, everybody. Thank you for attending this webinar, this course. Today, we will talk about happiness and how to make employee productive and happy in order to make them stay in the company. For that, I welcome Jose Luis. He is from Argentina. He has been working as a psychologist for 15 years. Thank you, Jose Luis. Do you
Well,
want to add something about this little introduction?
oh, yeah, thank you very much. Yes, my name is Jose. My last name is Tavela. I am a psychologist and been working since I was 19 years old for almost 20 years in the enterprise work. I started at a very young age and I became a chief at the age of 25. In the meantime, I was studying psychology and getting my degree as a university professor. So for the last, I think, 15 or 16 years, I have been developing myself as a director of different projects. So I became and went from the traditional boss to the chief happiness officer and learn how to communicate about this experience and want to share it with all of you.
Perfect, thank you. You can start when you want.
Okay, great. Yeah. So today we are going to talk, as I told before, about becoming a chief happiness officer. Is the challenge of having happy and productive employees, and uh, in the business structure is a very complex and useful material in order to achieve the results without burning the employees. So by the end of this course, you will be able to uh, get trained as a chief happiness officer to obtain the best results, generate a space of happiness at work, that is something very important, generate relaxed and more productive spaces in the company, and know the generational gaps and how to apply them in our favor, because all people are different, and depending where have they been born and how old they are going to react in different ways to a boss or to a structure in a business. So the first thing that I want to introduce are a few concepts, okay, uh, that are about the structure. And the first concept that I want to define is a team. And I will take this definition in parts in order for you to understand what I mean when I talk about a team. Okay, first of all, I want to say that a team is a reduced group of people. And with this, I don't mean that we have established amount of people. It doesn't mean that you need to be 3, 5, or 45 persons, but you need to know them uh, at least by name and what is their function in the company. For example, I don't know, we have Maria from contability, or we have Preet from human resources or from human capital. So when we talk about the reduced group of people, we talk about people that we know that work for us. But you may ask, what happened if we talk about a huge company that has, I don't know, 1,000 employees? Okay, probably you will have as a boss there a reduced amount of people that will be the bosses of other people. So you need to have your group there, and of course know them by name and what they do in the company. After that, we have that they must be linked together by constants of time and space. Well, with this, what I mean, or what this definition means, is that they need to be at the same place at the same time. And with virtuality, that there is something that has grown in the last few years. We have a challenge, but at least for meetings and stuff, they need to be at the same place. With this, I mean that they all need to be on the same spot doing the same thing. They are linked together on time and space. They will need to have mutual internal representations. And this is a psychological concept that is referred to the things that these people will have in common with the other members of the team. But we need to be careful because it's not the task that we need to accomplish. It's about their own inner war shared with the others. So probably if they all work in a company, they will be in the same age, or will have relatives in the same age. So the things that link them together is that they work in the same company doing this. And of course, they will have the objective of fulfilling a specific task. And what do we mean with task? A task is the objective of this group, is the main idea of what we are working for. It could be, I don't know, increasing sales as an example, or we may need to fulfill some task. I don't know, reducing the amount of people that quit our jobs, or stuff. So the whole team need to be together. So when we talk about a team, I think in a rock band, for example, it's a group of people, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys who practice every Tuesday, I don't know, at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. after work. Uh, and they do it at a garage, all of them in the same time and space. They have these mutual representations, probably that they love music, or that they share some interest in music. Perhaps one of them like more pop music than rock music, but music is what have them all linked together. They will probably be the same age, or will share uh, some bounds in order to do this. And of course, the task will be, I don't know, playing on a bar by the end of December. I don't know, something like that. So this is a very important concept, because with this team that we will have in our enterprise, we are going to start practicing and working in order to fulfill this task. And when we talk about the task, we talk about 3 spectrums, okay, that are related and located in different moments. Let's suppose that we are planning a trip with a couple of friends, I don't know, 5 or 6 friends. Of course, that we will know each other, and we'll have these internal representations, time and space, the objectives. But the task is the travel. Okay, to travel, I don't know, to visit, I don't know, Ibiza, Greece, wherever you want, or at this moment that we're in the World Cup, it will be Qatar. Uh, and the first thing will be a previous step. And this previous step is called the pre-task. And in this pre-task, what we are going to do is to plan how are we going to get there, how to get the plane ticket in the best price, what kind of clothes are we going to wear in that place, if we are going to assist to some events or not. It's the whole planning of the task. You know, in an enterprise, it could be uh, a task related, as I told before, um, related to increase sales. So we will need to make a marketing campaign, start checking all the resources that we are having economically, and kind of people that is going to work on it. And then after this previous task, we are going to move forward to the task indeed. Okay, the task indeed will be in the first example, just to go ahead and uh, get on the plane, travel there, go to the beach, enjoy, take a lot of pictures and stuff. In the case of the company, for example, it will be the whole process of getting the advertisement on TV, on internet, and wherever our audience is going to check it. And it start when we start a campaign, and it end when we finish it. Okay, so we will say that in the first example, once we get down off the plane after having all these beautiful vacations, it is completed. But after that, we have another task that is the after task. And this after task is when we say, hey, let's get together. So we take pictures, and we share that. And in the first event, of course, all of us go to that meeting. But after that, if we don't create another task, the team will be uh, finished, and a new team will start working. So in the company will work in the same way. After that, we're going to check our sales, if our company increased them and how we did it. We are going to check this on focus groups and stuff, and it's going to be stopped. And after that, a new task will start. Okay. And for this, we will need to create a full team. But what is a team created of? It is created of people. Okay. And by people, I mean people who has a name, who has a story, and that has different roles. And that's why we define here role, because as definition established, a role is an organized model of behavior relative to certain position of the individual of a network of interaction linked to the expectations of others. And it's very complex, or it's a very complex definition that I am using here, you know, with all these fancy words, you know, position of the individual in a network of interactions linked to expectations of others. What we really mean with roles is the space, or the role that every single person of this group, of this team, is going to develop during the task. So I ask you to imagine at this point what happened in our families. We all have roles, you know. We have that son or that daughter that is very good in studies, or the one that is good at sports. We have this uncle who likes to drink in parties, and we all have a personal role in our family structure. And in a company, of course, we all do have roles. And these roles are different than the position that is assigned. Okay, you can name a guy, I don't know, as I said before, from accountability or from human capital or something like that. But that's not the role that this person is going to take place on this structure. The role is a much deeper uh, position in the organization because it depends on the personality of this person. And we can identify about four kind of roles in a company uh, that we are going to highlight, of course, at the end, the leader one. Before we are going to start with the others. Okay. First of all, we can check about the spokesman. The spokesman is the one that is going to say everything that the whole group is thinking about a situation or about a project that we may have, about the task, as a matter of fact. And all the other members are afraid to say. So this guy, it's like a volcano in every single meeting saying everything that everyone thinks about is and he may say something like, I don't think this is going to work, or where are we going with this, or we are just talking and not making any difference here. And it's very productive for the chief in order to listen to this guy, because it's what all the other people in the group is thinking. We also have the saboteur. The saboteur is the guy who is against the task. Probably he's going to try to break the task all the time. He's the leader of the resistance, and he's going to find every single failure that this may have. And of course, we don't like to have this guy in our teams, but it happened every single time that we have one of these persons in our teams. But uh, it could be dangerous if we follow what this guy is saying, but it's very useful if we can understand where can we fail according to what he's saying in order to avoid this. So what this saboteur is going to do is all the time going to try to break the task that we are planning. And of course, we need to listen again to this person as bosses. And finally, we have the scapegoat. The scapegoat, it's a sad place, and there's people that all the time get in this position or in this role, because even if they are not responsible for the failure or every single problem that may happen during a task, they will carry with all the fault of what happened, and it's usually the weakest link in our chain. And this person will be always responsible for every single failure, or the whole group or the whole team is going to blame him or her for the failure. When all of us are part of this, and if something fails, of course, it's because it has not been correctly introduced. And finally, of course, we arrive to the leader role. The leader role, well, it's the most important, and we can see here why knowing the difference is important. We have the traditional boss, okay, and this guy is in charge of the employees or the organization. It means that he assumed the whole responsibility for everything that is happening there. He has this need of control. We all have a boss like this in our lives, that is all the time trying to drive people for his interest in. He depends of his authority, and he's always treating people in order to do what he wants. And of course, he uses the employees and take the credit when something goes good. But when something fails, he blames the employee to doing this and inspires fear. Uh, I can remember at least 5 bosses that I have with this attitude. And this is what we call the traditional boss. The traditional boss it's always uh, in this position, but he's still a leader. Now, in another way, we are going to find what is a chief happiness officer. And he influenced and inspired the team in order to accomplish the task. Okay, he's all the time coaching people. He goes on the goodwill. He will never say you will need to stay extra time or you will need to do this. He will ask you if you can do it. He gives credit whoever needs it or whoever develop a great work there, and try to understand and generate enthusiasm in people. And finally, he understands that failing is part of the process and that it could happen. And both of them, as I told you before, are leaders. No matter the way that they take leadership, the substantial differences between them are the results that they will get once they approach to the employees. So what we are trying to get here is to become a chief happiness officer that brings happiness to people. And again, this is demonstrated and had it demonstrated that we are going to learn much more from a chief happiness officer, and we are going to have longer and happy careers if we can achieve this position. It is not easy, because as a leader and as a leader of a group, uh, both of them can work, and a leader will be, according to their own personality, a democratic leader, someone who listens all the opinions in the company and follows every single suggestion and can listen what is going on with them. But besides this, it could be an autocratic leader. And an autocratic leader will just go ahead and say, hey, why don't we do this? And he's going to coach people in order for them to understand why this is the best decision for the team. Or it could be a charismatic leader. And with a charismatic leader, we are talking about a person who is always aware of what's going on with us, what's happening in the company, what's going on with our families. He make us feel very, very happy. And the perfect combination will be a combination of the three of them, because we cannot be democratic all the time. Sometimes we need to let people go. And when we talk and we give this kind of classes, we think in an ideal company, and sometimes companies are not ideal, and we need to let people go and tell them we think that this is not appropriate for you, or something like that. And that's the hard part, and when we need to practice some empathy in order to get to our employees and make them understand that sometimes being a chief involves some take some decisions, and these decisions may not be the most popular ones. So being a chief happiness officer is not always being the good guy. Is just go ahead and create a good space of work, a appropriate space of work. And we're going to check what this person is going to do with this team in order to succeed. And let's suppose that we have an option, and I really like to give examples. One of these leaders perhaps will need to make an open meeting and ask everyone to throw ideas of how are we going, or what should we do next, and in that place he will be democratic. But if something fails, he will need to take the responsibility for the whole team. Understanding, as I say, that failing is part of this, and you can be very very charismatic, but sometimes you will need to say no. So it's not always saying yes, but doing this with the correct manner, the right way, it will increase our productivity. So if an employee wants to come to work, I don't know if we come to work at 8 a.m. and he wants to work every single day at 8:30 or 9 a.m. Of course, we will need to call them their attention. But if we ask the questions, we will understand what is going on with this person and why they are always arriving late. And of course, we will need to make the decisions in order, if it is possible, to change something there to make it work, or just go ahead and proceed without this person. So basically, we need to make the changes and to change our mind and understand that sometimes uh, a traditional boss will be different from this chief happiness officer because of the results that he's going to generate. Uh, a traditional boss may lose employees and keep on hiring new people from time to time, and this will make our company to lose money. Okay, but when we have this other guy working for us and working, or we are working in this position, we are going to keep a team for a long, long time. Okay, because we are understanding that it's a group of people and that they may have different things, and not just go ahead and drain all the energy of our employees. Just understand that there are different things. For example, this syndrome that is called burnout syndrome, where an employee, after a lot of pressure, uh, lose his mind. His brain get fried. That's why it's the burnout. It get burned, as a matter of fact. It is very hard to recover a good employee that has psychological issues due to a very exigent boss. So the main idea is to get better results, and they will be more useful to save the company money, and of course not losing the value high resources that we have at this time. Now, why is this so important? And this is so important because according to statistics, 9 out of 10 employees prefer to stay in a company that offers happiness policies among its benefits. And with this, we mean, again, this chief happiness officer that can listen to them, that can make all the changes that are needed to get satisfied employees. It is proven, besides this, that, for example, the 4-day week work has worked much better, or sometimes working at home, it has improved the productivity. So they are going to go ahead and achieve the things for the team. For example, there are companies that pay vacations to their employees in order for them to be more satisfied and more productive in their workspaces. Besides this, we have, uh, I don't know, movie tickets or pizza parties on Fridays, casual Fridays, all these things and all these strategies make the boss one of us. Okay, and when he is one of us, we don't feel that we are working for him, that we are working for the task and for the team. And continuing with this, the salary is no longer the only depending factor when people values, more the work environment and the people that they work, the recognition, the quality of life that they get. according to this, more than a payroll. It's not only about money, and as you may see as bosses, you are probably going to find a lot of people that are trying or struggling to get uh, very good employees, who has the training, uh, more in the tech field, that is very hard to get the resource and to maintain it. And even if they keep on offering money and money and money, they need to have this balance, for example, with their time, with the free time. An employee who has free time to share with their family is more productive, is more happy. So a motivated person is going to be a 30% more productive than a person that is not professionally recognized. Uh, and this is very important, get the recognition that they deserve. Some enterprises offer from time to time a bonus in money for the productivity, and all the employees keep on working and working and working in order to get it. But this is the only thing that gets is to get very competitive people, and they fight against each other in order to get the best position, or the more money. And eventually, in a couple of years, this person will suffer this syndrome that we talked before, the burnout syndrome. And of course, we are going to lose a very good employee, not only for us, but for other companies, where they can relocate. And of course, there is a huge challenge there. Uh, we are going to check this in a minute, but um, to keep a loyal employee for us, working with us, and that this person feels that he's part of the company, it's something very hard to achieve. So I really like this phrase that says you have to satisfy the employees and not just the customer. Take care of workers so they can take care of your customers. And this approach us to a concept that is the internal customer. We don't only have external customers, but we have the internal customers, and the internal customer and internal clients are our employees. They will need to have benefits. They will need to have everything they need and the recognition that they need in order to improve and to keep on working. Okay, so why is this happening? And I'm going to start talking about our parents. Our parents are mostly from a generation that is not right here, that is called the baby boomers. You probably listen or learn about this in a documentary or something like that. The baby boomers were born after World War II, and they grew up in a world full of opportunities. If you check what our parents accomplished, but at a very young age, probably they got married very, very young, and they were able to get a house and a car and probably a second car. And it was because the whole war, after the war, was in a very good established economical position. They were healthy, and they were wealthy, as a matter of fact. And they stay in the same company for about 30, 40 years, keep on working on the same role, probably with one of these traditional bosses. And most traditional bosses that we find right now are these guys that are about 65, 70 years old, that they don't want to retire. They feel the company as it's their own company, even if they are employees. And, they have learned from these traditional bosses and not from the chief happiness officers that are the ones that came from the next generation. The next generation that we are going to talk about is the Generation X. They were born between 1968, 69 to 1980. They are quite different because they grow up on a different world. The main event of this generation was the fall of Berlin Wall, and they changed from a world that was polarized, between communism and capitalism, and it changed the whole experience. Why? Because some of their parents got fired. They were 55. They were not able to accomplish the needs of the new enterprises with the new technologies and stuff. And they work for 30 years, and one day they just get a letter, a clock, and they say, okay, go by, go home. It's the new future generation, the one from the punk rock. And this generation tries to get a work and life balance. Again, they are the first uh, bosses in transition between this traditional boss and the chief happiness officer. Some of us may be in this generation. They are not exactly according to the ages, even though it is defined here as it is. They have to learn how to communicate now. So they most use email and text. They use the television. They don't go to YouTube to check videos. And if they go ahead, click on one video, wait until it ends, and see another video. They are not born with the technology. They just have to adapt. Uh, they are very loyal with their companies, but they really value their free time. And again, these guys, if we make the math, uh, are from 40 to 50 something, 55 or 54. And these guys are getting out of the companies, are completing their careers. They stood there for a long time, as their parents did. And of course, they have analogic technology. They are the ones who use the Walkman, the TV with buttons and in black and white. The signature product for them is the PC. They never get to the new technologies. It is hard for them, and it's not friendly for them. After that, we have these guys that are called the Generation Z, sorry, Y, or the millennials. You probably listen about them all the time. They are the ones that are born between 1981 and 1997. And these guys, we can divide them into groups. We have the geriatric millennials that are the ones that share spaces with the Generation X, and they know how to call a girl on their phone, and that their parents pick up the phone and need to ask, just to speak with a lady, or sharing, a meeting, or establishing a meeting without knowing if the other person is going to assist there, because they were born in an analogic world, but they learn eventually how to get in this technological world. These guys has a work aspiration of freedom and flexibility. Okay, they don't care if they quit a job after 1 year, 5 years, or 7 years. They just go ahead and keep on going. They are very multitasking people. They are job jumpers. They jump from a job to another job. They are freelancers in their more career characteristic. They use social media, but they don't use it as the Generation X or the next one that are the Centennials. They use the technology as a tool, but they prefer to get in touch with people. They are very good bosses and chief happiness officers because they have the best of both worlds. And as a matter of fact, are the most uh, productive employees at this moment. Okay. We will need, of course, to go ahead and teach the next generations how to do it, because, of course, they are going to uh, keep on going with this after the millennials get retired. They use their smartphone. They like applications like WhatsApp. They like YouTube. They can see two or three videos at the same time because they are multitasking. So they know how to search uh, for the information, but they are digital immigrants. Okay, when they were born, internet was working with these uh, modern things that used to make those annoying noises and use the telephone, and their mama used to tell them, just go ahead and ended up with the internet. I need to use this phone. And they eventually came to the digital technologies. And of course, since they are not native to them, they encounter some problems. And we have two more generations. Of course, one is the one of after 2016, and we're not going to talk about them. Just to mention them, those are called the pandemic kids. We don't know much yet. They are the ones that were born and that they don't remember the war before the pandemic. Uh, I hope that they get much better. But it's something very, very complex because it's going to be very hard for them to make friends and to socialize and stuff. But as I told you, we have the Z generation or the centennials. You can see there in the drawing, one is a hipster, the other one is with a piece of paper uh, and a pen, and this one is with the headphones. And these centennials are also called the crystal generation. These guys are the youngest employees in our organization. Uh, they are the youngest, about 18 years old, and are just introducing themselves in the business world. And they are the oldest one are about 24, 25 years old, so it's very, very young. Most of them are learning to become bosses, and they are very empathetic. Okay, that's why they are called the crystal generation, because uh, they break easily. Okay, if they have one of those traditional bosses that yell at them, or don't give them the recognition when they need it, uh, probably they are going to quit without thinking it, because most of them are the ones that has love of technical capabilities, and they know it. Okay, they know that they can work in systems. They are very good at this. uh, they have the same aspirations as their grandparents had, the baby boomers, to establish themselves in the work, but they are not going to tolerate a mistreat there. And of course, they are all the time in the social media. They are career jumpers, multitasking. They work as freelancers. They want to live their lives and travel the world. Uh, they use almost every technology since they were born. They were born with the internet, or the high-speed internet. They have smartphones since they are kids. Uh, the nanotechnology, and of course they are digital natives. So every generation has a difference, and according to these differences, we need to make sure that we give them what they need. Okay, so when we talk about and zooming up the generation X, we will need to give them this work and life balance. But if we talk about millennials, they are probably going to need this freedom just to stay 2 days at home and go 3 days to the company. Some flexibility with the schedules. And of course, with the centennial, we need to be very, very careful on how we treat them, and try to give them emotional stability in order for them to achieve the goals that they are looking for. So every single generation has a different approach in a different way. And as a chief happiness officer, we will need to learn them in order to be able to apply them. If we can do this, of course, we are going to have happy teams. And as I told before, more productive, more efficient. They are not going to quit from time to time and stuff. Now, how do we get this? Okay, because at this moment I told you that there is a cake, that is a great cake. It has chocolate on it. And you ask me, hey, how do you do this cake? And I say, hey, yes. And it has this chocolate chips. And say, yeah, but how do you make the cake? Okay, so now I'm going to tell you how to make this cake, and how can we get to one of these uh, satisfied teams that will work and be productive for our company. Okay, so what we have here, and I use the acronym CHO, is the way to get to that position. How do we get to our team to be a happy team in our role, of course, of chief happiness officer? If someone put us there, the first thing that we need to realize is that is because we deserve it and they saw in us the capability of doing it. Okay, no one hires a guy, just to check. They were going to hire you because they know that you have the capability to do it. But there are six things, and you can see in the drawing that is an inverted cone, and I will explain this in a moment. That goes from the biggest, thing that we need to do in order to filter everything, and to get to this chief happiness officer. And of course, there are some resistances that we will need to fight against in order to accomplish this. So the first concept that we have here is affiliate membership. It's not the same thing to get someone affiliate to your project, uh, but to become a member. So I like to use this example. I really like sports. I really like soccer. I like basketball. I like rugby, and it's always the same thing. When you affiliate, it's when you sign your contract with this team. So you are signing for 4 or 5 years, and you are part of the team because you signed the contract. It's just that. Uh, but when you find this membership, it's when you get committed to the task. You are going to really do everything that is possible, even play a game without your perfect state of health, in order to succeed and to this team to win. Those are the guys that became idols. The one that goes to the Hall of Fame in every single sports, because they don't always they don't just affiliate, they belong to this team, and we need to get this. Okay, so of course we are going to find a good engineer or a very good uh, human resources, or a very good accountability expert, or something, but they need to feel that they are part of this enterprise, so they will do everything in order to succeed. And it's our job to do this, uh, giving them all that they may need in this. Now, what we are going to need in order to do this, we are need to communicate effectively. And it sounds easy, most of the times we think in communication about this draw that we have in school, someone that is talking, someone that is receiving this message, the message in between of them. But communication is something much more important. Communication, it's about listening at people. And listening at people is active. listening at people, and it's something that is very, very hard for us to do. Is not thinking of what are we going to tell them after they immediately they stop talking, and give the best or the most clever answer. You can use Twitter if you want this, and to be the clever guy. It's just to actually listen what this person is saying that they need. I have this case during the pandemic, and there were a lot of employees asking for a raise and stuff, because they keep on working in health during the whole process. But there was this guy who said, "Hey, I know the rules of the game. I know that you are not going to pay me more." He used to say this to his boss, but I don't feel protected. I don't feel the protection during this. You only gave me a mask after 6 months of the pandemic. I need to pay from my own alcohol. Now that there are some vaccines, you didn't do anything, in order for us to get them faster, or something like that. And this guy was asking just to be taken care of. Okay, he was not asking for more money. He was just asking for this recognition. And most of the times, when they come with one of these problems, we say, "Okay, how much money do you want?" And if this person don't get satisfied, they will say, "Okay, give me, I don't know, a 10, 20, 30% of raise," but they will not get satisfied with us. Okay, so we need to listen and active listen to them in order for uh, get the appropriate communication. The relevance. Oh, this is basically to recognize the employees for the contribution that they make to the company. Uh, Even if we don't have the expected results, this may happen. I know that you are doing a hard work here. I know that you're putting all your efforts. Uh, I want you to know that I have listened to you, and I will try to get this, because sometimes we cannot get it from the top positions, or from our bosses. But of course, I will bring what you are saying to them in order for this, and doing this, and with this relevance, they will take the goals companies as their own. And of course, this is going to get them. Then we have the cooperation, and the cooperation is very important, because we work with people, and people link together, as we said before, and they need to cooperate between each other. Okay, so if we have two things that we can check here. Okay, I will use a corporation plus or a corporation minus. Okay, because of course in a team we have people who rather to work together, and people who rather not to work with someone else. Okay, so find the best way for all of them to cooperate in order to get this. And of course, going thinner in this cone, we got the empathy. It's to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, in order to understand what motivates them, what they need, what is happening in their lives. Sometimes they have a relative that is sick, and you see this guy sitting there, and you don't know what is going on. So you use a communication, and then this empathy to say, "Hey, I understand that you are not going through a good moment, and of course, as you are not going through a good moment, I can put someone to do what you do, and you take your time, without taking advantage of this. People are going to really value this." And finally, but not least important, is learn and teach. And this is a dialectic process. The dialectic is a method that has been created uh, by a philosopher called uh, Hegel. Hegel. And we need to create this environment where me as a boss can learn from the employee and the employee can learn from me, about the commitment. If I want them to be here at 8 o'clock, I need to be at 7:30, in order, for them to learn this. And they are going to teach me a lot of stuff about their own reality. And with this, we are going to get a new concept. Okay, so if I came from a traditional idea and they have a new idea, we can mix it in this process and generate the third idea that could be really, really worthy because we are mixing up knowledges. And with all this, of course, you became a chief of happiness officer. But as I told you before, I don't want to give you all the good stuff without telling you that there may be some resistances. As I told you, there is this guy. Oh, here we have all the vectors of this inverted cone. If you would like to check it later. Um, and we have three big enemies here. And, you know, enemies, most of the times our companies are not people, but are resistances that people generate in their self in order to not succeed on a task. The first one is the fear of losing. We all have this kind of feeling. We are not comfortable with what we have here, but we are afraid to move forward because we don't know what may come. Okay, so this traditional boss really doesn't treat me as a person, but what about this new guy, this new hippie guy that comes here smiling, not wearing a shirt or a tie, saying that their office is all the time open? What if I bring some suggestions and he wants to fire me or something like that? And what I am afraid of losing is the stability that I got on this position. The second one is always look back, and that's something very strange and not that much. We are animals, we are all, and the humans has we have as humans a brain function, that is from the superior brain. Not any animal has it. That is that we can think about the future. Uh, it is proven that 50% to 70% of the time we are thinking about our future. We are thinking where are we going for our holidays or what car are we going to get, uh, how the world is going to be for our kids. But in a certain way, we tend to look back when we don't feel secure. And why do we do this? Okay, because if we do all every single day the same things in nature, we get guaranteed that we are not getting eaten by a tiger or lion or something like that. If we take all the same steps every single time, we are going to be secure. So looking back in this position and in our jobs avoid us to move forward because I know that this will guarantee me some stability. And if you stand in the street, I don't know, for 2 or 3 days straight, you will at the same time, of course, you will be the same people doing the same things every single day. Humans, we are animals of customs because if we don't follow them, we may die in nature. So we keep on looking back in order not to move forward. So that's a resistance that we need to do. And finally, we find the resistance to new things. Okay. Uh, I know that this improvement may help me on my work life and it's going to be easier and stuff, but it's going to take more effort. And since it's going to take more effort from me, I am going to lose some of my precious time. So people try to resist to new things. So basically, what we need to do here in the three of them is to understand that these resistances are going to happen, and that people, of course, is going to follow first the saboteur or the spokesman that is going to talk about everything that may fail here, but eventually they will get to our way, and of course we will succeed as a team. Now, I can see right here that time is done. We are in 59 minutes, so we have to check the knowledge. I plan three situations, or four, as a matter of fact, that we can check here. The first meeting with the new team, and they have been working together for more than 5 years. It's something very complex because you came from another company, from another place, and you know how should we act on this situation? Of course, if we come here and try to put all the information, everything that we have learned on the very first meeting, they are going to hate us, and they are going to do everything that is possible or in their own possibility in order to sabotage our work. So the first thing that I will suggest to do in this situation is to establish human contact, ask them who they are, who they want, why are they working here, what is something that they would like to improve, and start listening again with the active listening, learning from the employees. Another one is one of the team members has been late for the last month. How will you act in this situation? And this is the place where, of course, we go again to the communication. We are going to ask to be empathetic with this person if they really are having a problem, or sometimes they are just taking advantage of this enterprise. Uh, the sales results for the quarter are not what you are expecting. You know that your employees have worked hard. What will you do? I will suggest them to take them to a pizza party or something like that, to recognize that they have done a very good work. Take the responsibility for their actions with your bosses, and start planning again a new idea. And of course, after a discussion with a member of the team, you discover that you were wrong. That's something very, very complex. How would you solve the situation? In most cases, we tend to start a war about these kind of things. And it's not bad at all to recognize that you may be wrong. Okay, so what I will suggest is just to go ahead and say, hey, I'm sorry, I was not right, it was my mistake. And uh, keep on living with that failure. It's not that hard. Now, do we have questions?
Thank you. Thank you, Jose.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes, there is 5 questions asked. I will start with the first one. At the beginning, you talked about how to make people stay, but the first question is, what can you do? What can we do to create the best team before trying to make them stay? Create the best team at first. What are the advices you can give?
Hmm. Yeah. First of all, I will say, and thank you very much for this question, is to understand that we are working with people, as you say, and as they are people, they have very complex ways to respond to certain situations. So in a group of people, you probably will need to recognize what they have done right in public and say what they didn't succeed in private. Just go ahead with this. Besides that, all the time, be ready to receive the critics. They are going to criticize you, and that's good, and that make us learn something that it's very hard for us is to accept that we are wrong, and if we don't accept that we're wrong, we're never going to learn. I think that we talk about three zones. The first zone that I will define here is the zone of comfort, where we are located, and we cannot learn anything from there. If I am in my comfort spot, I am the boss, I have the big chair, the longest vacations, I won't share uh, and learn almost anything. Then we have this learning zone where I can accept that there are certain things that I may not know about how this work of people works. Probably if you are the boss and you are just getting there, one of these guys tried to get your position, and of course he's going to hate you, or at least at the beginning, because he got the
Yes.
position. And we need to learn from that. We need to learn in that second area. Uh, oh, sorry, that's the timer on my phone. And the third area that we have here, besides the learning one, is the panic zone. Those are the things that really frighten me to do. Will I take this risk? Is this risk worthy? Should I go on with this? And the main challenge here is to learn in the learning zone and to change those things that really panics me to the learning zone. And of course, there are going to be new things to learn and stuff, and that's how we keep on going.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No,
The other question is how to recruit the manager that will manage a team. Is there something you can give as a device or the traits that you can have to look for in the person who will manage the team?
oh, that's a very good question. How to select a human resource. I will say uh, that there are a lot of things on LinkedIn that you can find in order, uh, to get a good employee. And there are tests that are very cruel. Psychology is a very cruel discipline, and it has been, since the beginning of times. And sometimes you put them some proofs or stuff, uh, just to make them commit a mistake, or you just go ahead and leave them by their own like half an hour and see how do they react, or all these tests that are suggestions, from human capital. I think that the best thing and the best idea is to listen at them. Is just to sit down there, make them feel comfortable. I know this guy, Steve Jobs, from Apple. I think we all know him. He used the beer challenge. So if he feels that he can have a beer with this guy, and he actually did it. He went there and take a drink with this person, and share about lives and positions stuff. Because you can lie in an interview, but you cannot lie to yourself, and eventually uh, it's going to be shown who you really are. So basically, what I suggest is just to go ahead, listen to people, give them all the time. I know that most of the times when we are hiring someone, we have a list of, I don't know, 15, 20 guys that we need to interview them. So take the time with each candidate in order to listen their story, what they have in their background, what they can bring to our company. and always make open questions. Never close questions. Do you like working? Yes, I do. And it's something that is not going to give you any clue. Can you describe an experience of something that you have achieved in your last work, or uh, can you tell me something that you are proud of? And most of the times, and it's linked to the next seminar, but to learn that they will have emotional intelligence, and that it's very important in these roles. Besides that, I will say that even there are some articles that says that guys are better. There are others that says that women are better for their jobs. We are all humans, and guys and ladies, they all can go ahead and be a very good chief happiness officer. It does not depend of the shape of the brain, or if it's they are more maternal, or if the guy are more bossy, or something like that. We are just people, and there are guys that could be very maternal guys, and women that could be very bossy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's try a close question. The leader don't need to be a good guy, but to be fair, yes or no?
Sorry.
The leader, does he have to be a good guy or just to be fair? Yes or no?
Oh, yes, it is not a yes or no question. He needs to be a good guy, but he needs to be a leader.
Okay.
The most important thing is that he needs to be a leader, and a leader is fair. It's someone who can make a hard decision when a hard decision needs to be made. I always think about this guy in the movies, uh, who is the leader, not because he has been named after that as leader, but he's a real leader. And you know, he need to make a huge decision, to save all the people, I don't know, in a boat or a plane or something. And he made a decision that is not the most popular decision. Okay. But he never loses this humanity. Okay. So it's a combination of being a good guy, or at least a fair guy, that is going to take the decisions for the company, even if they are not the most popular decisions. But they know how to communicate them in order for employees to go ahead and keep on working with those decisions.
Okay, perfect. And last question. How can a leader learn to say no?
Oh, that's something that I work every single day of my life. Uh, because it's like when people start losing weight, or quit alcohol, or something like that. They will say, I don't know how to say no. And they know how to say no. They don't want to say no, because they get the satisfaction and stuff. So you say, okay, go ahead and take some drugs. They would say, oh no, I won't do that. Oh, why are you taking, I don't know, alcohol or pizza or something, and trying to lose weight? So when they start learning to say no, they go to a family reunion or something, and uh, they start, arguing their families and stuff, because they don't know how to balance it yet. Okay, they say no to food or to alcohol, so they start saying no to everything. Okay, so they say, hey, would you like, I don't know, a cup of coffee? Oh, I told you that I'm trying to lose weight, and they yell at them, and do all these things. So it's something that you need, to balance. It's like bamboo. You need to be strong but flexible enough, in order not to break. You can bend yourself, but you can never break yourself. So learning to say no, it's a complex word, but I think that the most important thing for one of these happiness officers is a very good sense of humor. If they do have a very good sense of humor, and they have uh, the capability of make people understand what they are saying no. No one is going to get angry, and if people get angry, of course, they will need to learn that sometimes you need to say no. I do have a 6-year-old kid. I didn't say that when I introduced myself. Uh, and sometimes he say, "Can I go to McDonald's or something like that?" And I say, "Hey, no, you cannot go there." And he will probably make this sad face, sometimes even cry or something like that. And it's cheap for me, or cheaper for me, to take him to McDonald's. I mean, not economically, that I don't have to see him upset or something like that. But I am doing this because I am taking care of him. Okay, and sometimes we need to say no to our employees to take care of their jobs. Because if you say, "Hey, yes, you can go ahead and do whatever you want," then they are going to get fired. So saying no, it's something so important and very important, because it involves a lot of things. But the most important thing that involves is caring. You are not saying no because you just want to. You are saying no because you have to.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh
Thank you
no,
for
thank you.
everything, Jose. It was really interesting. Thank you for all this knowledge you brought us. Uh, Thank you for everyone, and have a nice
Okay.
evening.